The Battle of Rocroi, fought on May 19, 1643, was one of the most significant battles of the Franco-Spanish War, itself part of the broader conflict of the 30 Years' War. It was a momentous clash that shattered the long-standing reputation of Spain's feared tercios and signaled the rise of France as the dominant European power. At the time of the battle, Spain had been the preeminent military force in Europe for over a century, with its disciplined tercios dominating battlefields across the continent. However, by the early 1640s, French forces had gained strength under the leadership of capable generals, and the balance of power was beginning to shift. The battle came at a crucial time for France, as King Louis XIII had died just a few days earlier on May 14, leaving the country under the regency of Queen Anne of Austria and Cardinal Mazarin, who governed on behalf of the young King Louis XIV. A French defeat at Rocroi could have had severe political and military consequences, making victory all the more vital. The French army was commanded by the young but brilliant Duke of Enghien, later known as the Great Condé. Though only 21 years old, Enghien demonstrated a keen understanding of battlefield tactics and had the confidence to challenge the legendary Spanish forces. His army consisted of approximately 22,000 men, including 8,000 cavalry, 15 cannons, and a strong contingent of infantry. His opponent, Francisco de Melo, the Spanish governor of the Spanish Netherlands, commanded a slightly larger force of around 26,000 troops, including 18,000 infantry, 7,000 cavalry, and 18 cannons. The Spanish army was composed of veteran units, including several elite tercios from Spain, Italy, and Wallonia, renowned for their discipline and effectiveness in defensive combat. The battlefield near Rocroi, located in the Ardennes region of northern France, was partially wooded but contained open fields suitable for cavalry maneuvers. At dawn, the battle began with a powerful artillery exchange, with both sides bombarding each other's positions. Enghien, realizing that the key to victory lay in disrupting the Spanish formations before they could fully engage, launched an aggressive cavalry assault on the Spanish right flank. The French cavalry, led by Jean de Gassion, charged with great force, breaking through the enemy lines and pushing Spanish cavalry units into retreat. However, on the opposite side of the battlefield, the Spanish left flank proved much more resilient. Their cavalry held firm against French attacks, and soon the Spanish infantry, particularly the veteran tercios, began advancing in disciplined formations, putting heavy pressure on the French center. At one point, the situation became critical for the French, as some of their infantry units faltered under the relentless push of the tercios, threatening to collapse their central lines. Despite the growing pressure, Enghien remained composed and quickly adapted his strategy. Realizing that a direct assault on the tercios would be costly and ineffective, he decided to encircle them instead. His cavalry, having routed the Spanish right flank, regrouped and swung around to attack the Spanish infantry from the rear, cutting off their lines of retreat. Simultaneously, the French artillery intensified its bombardment, weakening the tightly packed Spanish formations. French infantry, supported by fresh reserves, launched renewed attacks on the Spanish center. The tercios, although famous for their ability to withstand heavy assaults, now found themselves trapped, assailed from multiple directions, and under constant cannon fire. As the French pressure increased, the once unbreakable Spanish formations began to waver. The final blow came when French forces overran the Spanish artillery positions, depriving them of their ability to respond with counterfire. With no way to maneuver or retreat, entire Spanish regiments collapsed. Some surrendered, while others were cut down in brutal hand-to-hand combat. Francisco de Melo attempted to rally his forces, but the situation was beyond saving. By the end of the battle, the Spanish had suffered catastrophic losses. Around 8,000 men were killed or captured, including thousands of the elite tercio soldiers. French casualties were significantly lighter, estimated at around 4,000. The defeat at Rocroi was a humiliation for Spain and marked the beginning of its military decline. For over a century, the Spanish tercios had been the dominant force in European warfare, but Rocroi demonstrated that their rigid formations were becoming outdated in the face of more mobile and aggressive tactics. The battle signaled a shift in military power, with France emerging as the dominant land force in Europe. For the young Duke of Enghien, the victory cemented his reputation as a brilliant commander, and he would go on to play a key role in France's military successes under Louis XIV. The Battle of Rocroi was not just a tactical victory but a symbolic one. France had proven that the Spanish military machine was not invincible, and a new era of European warfare had begun.